a two-bit expose of the same old story that I heard yesterday. Yeah, it goes the headlines, man. They all just go to plan. Their brains and fixed and rigged. You know they're all just spam. So buckle down, plug right in. Cause it's way under your skin. Just got by the things they spout. And
Scott?
give me that good news.
Why?
Because I'm tired of the same old shit.
Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, and you're tuning in to 216, and that's The Grounds with Giles and Jones. I'm Giles. He's Jones, and he's Cappuccino.
Oh, we got
to have Cappuccino with The Grounds, right?
That's it.
How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Yeah?
Good.
We're alive. We're well.
Welcome in, Mr.
Right?
Cappuccino.
Having some cappuccino.
Listen,
What are you drinking there?
Somewhat coffee from a pod.
Somewhat cup of coffee.
Copy pod. Listen, the most unique show that 216 Net has. You're going to go out there. You're going to see good old Uncle Pete in the morning. He's going to tell you, hey, put that Earl into the Earl URL.
No, you put Earl in your car.
Put Earl.
Put Earl into your car.
Yeah, makes it run.
Makes it run.
That's it. And join us. Come on. Be on air with us. Be part of this. This is where we talk anything politics, peanut butter, but no politics. Of course, The Grounds brought to you through the great support of
Cannabis CBD shop right here at 818 Front Street in McHenry. Stop by, check us out, get a good one-on-one consultation. If you know what CBD is, we can help get you what you want. If you don't, we can explain to you what it is. Come on in. 818 Front Street in McHenry.
That's it. Don says, hey,
Where
good
are the
morning,
samples?
We got you want some samples? I got some samples.
I shot you, text you.
I didn't see it till I got on my way, so that's why I texted you back. I'll pick them up at the store, bring some back.
I love you for that. All right, Don Stevenson, good morning.
Good
All the way
morning,
from
Don.
Grapevine, Texas.
Grapevine. We send us some grapes, would you?
Morning, guys.
And then
After
Facebook, is that Lisa?
8
Lisa,
It
can
must
you
be,
confirm?
Lisa.
And then Mr. Krejci's tapping in
that's it.
live.
That's Jen, that's the missus.
No, Facebook user says good morning.
Yeah, but that's Jen Krejci. You said Mr. Krejci.
Mike is down at the bottom.
Where's he at?
He's alive.
He's
look at-
hiding.
Oh,
There,
he's in there.
hiding.
I
Look
didn't-
at him.
There he
He's
is.
in the studio.
I didn't hear him come in.
There
There
he
he
is.
is.
To the
Hey,
studio.
boys.
Oh. Look at him,
hear
looking good,
I'm
looking
like,
good.
I'm looking at
Mickey.
Yeah.
Can we hear him? Let's hear a mic check on you, buddy.
Do you have
you hear me?
something for dog anxiety?
Yeah,
Yes.
we got you.
We do.
got me. All right.
All right, you're a little. I'll turn
Yeah.
it up over here.
Yeah, we do have CBD for dog anxiety. We've got quite a few different selections. We have, probably like 4 or 5 different selections at Cannabis, but if you don't find something there that you like or that your dog may want, we do have another selection at Reese's Barkery and Pautique over at 1313 Riverside Drive. You can always stop in over there, and your animal is also welcome in with you. So either our store, just let us know. We'll be more than happy
So
to
I
take
got
care of
a
you.
question for you, Scott.
Okay, shoot.
Oh, you can do it for dogs. You can do it for adults. Can you do it for kids?
CBD?
Yeah.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the
It's
time.
not like weird where it's like, oh, hey, I'm gonna kids today. Get them
No,
to calm down a little
Not
bit.
at all. Not at all. We get CBD in our food, right? I mean, it comes through a lot of our, well, it used to come more so through our food. We're not getting nearly as much. And that's why there's such a big rise in
Right.
people having problems sleeping and, just general overall wellness, right? Getting us into what's called homeostasis, where our body's working in, together,
Correct.
right? To help
Yeah.
each other out. And we get out of whack. And CBD is one of the things that we need to help us regulate. So yeah, definitely for kids. I mean, we're giving it to an infant, but I mean, if you've got,
Sure. And
for me,
teenagers
yeah,
and-
teenager, perfect for somebody like sleeping issues, helping them
I'm
calm
gonna
down,
need like
relax.
13 pounds of CBD.
13 Oh, you
Yeah.
want the flower, you don't want gummies.
Well, whatever. whatever gets them to go
Gets them to go to
right
sleep.
from here to here.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Right.
there's a lot of different options we can look at. So, after
cool.
the show,
Let's talk about that.
yeah, we can always talk about that.
You heard it here, folks. You could drug your kids.
No.
Actually-
Right from it's not a drug, man.
Actually,
I'm
Jen,
just
talk to Alice because Alice has been using the CBD Delta 8 with melatonin.
With the melatonin.
She's never slept better than yours.
It's amazing
Mhm.
stuff, dude. It's amazing.
True.
I mean,
That's awesome.
our chemical balances have been really just
Yeah.
thrown off in the last, 20 plus years. And people are starting to really figure out, what's working
Well,
and how to kind of get them.
Next
to
time,
go-
let's make Scott a lot of money.
Right.
Wait, I'm married. Let's make my wife out of it.
The world's
It's a good commercial.
different, right?
Yeah,
So
it's an
you got
infomercial.
toxins in the
Yeah.
grounds now that come in your food. You got the stuff
Oh,
you're
yeah.
breathing.
I mean,
So,
we've
yeah.
always had it, but it's just exacerbated these days because one, lack of people, getting out. Literally, one of the easiest things is getting out into nature,
Yeah.
right? And to calm your body, to help you get back into, I mentioned that word earlier, homeostasis. That's a state of even keel,
Yeah.
where your body is actually helping itself, right? And if you're not having the right chemical mixture, your brain's not going to work right. And that's part of the issue.
That's
That
awesome.
comes down to what you're ingesting food-wise too, because our foods, there's so many different chemicals that they're adding for preservatives and to make it taste better. You know what I mean? And or to make it cheaper for them to manufacture. And I get it to a certain point, but it's gotten so out of
It gets
control
so
that
crazy.
well, I mean, just look at the world overall, the overall condition of people, our sizes, our mental health. I mean, it's a good thing. So one of the good things, I guess, with the pandemic coming out is that actually a lot of these people in the world are realizing that everyone's got issues, right?
Yep.
But people are talking about them now instead of keeping them in the closet and not, going, oh, it's only me. I don't want to bring that out. People are actually saying, hey, I'm having problems sleeping, or, you know what I mean? I'm extra nervous during the day. What do I do? Before people just suffered in silence. So I think that's one of the good things is a lot more people are starting to conversate about and feeling a little bit more comfortable sharing their issues, right? I mean, because before, like kids, boys don't cry, men don't cry. Why? I mean, if you've got to get
Because
something
we're
off
fucking tough, you pussy.
Speaking from Kent over here, holy cow!
Well, I mean, you heard it here, folks. You should throw out that website one more time to get a free consultation because that's awesome stuff.
Yeah, it's Cannabis CBD Shop at Outlook, or was it CannabisCBDShop.com?
Do you own it? I mean, you don't know.
Yeah,
the website?
You can do contact.
I try to remember them all.
He's got too many.
I
That's,
try to remember them.
Yeah, he knew them all. He knew them all until he started
all
taking
serious,
the
man.
CBD.
Yeah.
Oh, serious.
That's exactly.
That's
yeah.
awesome data, Scott.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
And we do encourage people to come in and if they want to do one-on-one, so they can ask, because some people are a little afraid to ask about these things, right? I mean,
Sure.
some people are embarrassed that they've got issues, and it's like you're a human being.
Oh, yeah.
You've got issues. Talk about it.
No, I'm
you
riddled.
realize you're not.
I'm riddled with issues.
Well, a lot of people think that it's they like I said, they suffer in silence. They don't realize that there's a ton of other people that have the exact same issue. That's why a lot of these people have big groups that they talk about.
I'm gonna let's get off of your business for a minute.
It's going 216 tonight.
And let's congratulate Mike on opening his new business right there.
He's going to need some CBD to calm him down.
Mike,
I got meditation for that, Scott.
shout out for your new business. Tell us what it is, how people
Awesome.
get in touch with you. Great stuff, Mike.
So we are converting Gold Shield to Gold Shield Expert Home Solutions to eventually just Expert Home Solutions. We provide premium service for your HVAC, plumbing, electrical needs, all your hopes and dreams. We're here to create the best solutions for your problems, the problems you may not even know you may have.
Well,
So.
yeah. Is that you also do marriage counseling? Then I take it, huh?
No, that's not one of the problems. Sorry, 99 other ones.
You said premium solutions, man.
Free picture frame with every appointment.
That's the wrong kind of plumbing, Scott.
Oh wow, he said plumbing and electrical. My electrical system, and my plumbing.
It
ain't
is
working.
Friday,
It's
isn't
gonna be. Yeah, it is Friday. Friday.
All right.
Congratulations,
congrats, bud. That's awesome.
Thank you.
We're here for you. Looks like we're here. You need You need any help, or just someone to talk to.
And
All three of you guys have been a huge support system for me, and I really do appreciate it. So,
Yeah, well, every day's a new adventure, baby. You know that one.
yes,
So
absolutely.
it's not your first rodeo, but now this is your first rodeo that's going to be pretty much your gig, which is awesome.
First one in his backyard,
Yeah.
perhaps, right?
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, with the two partners I got, I couldn't ask for two other great partners to have with me. They're really strong in their areas also. So shout out to Mac and Ashley also. So
What's your guys? Is if somebody wants to get a hold of you guys over there, what's your phone number, website info for them, bud?
Our phone number is 847-376-8094. Same as Gold Shield. Even if you look up Gold Shield, we pop up as Expert Home Solutions. And then our website is experttoday.pro.
Okay. And you guys serve the entire Chicago metropolitan area, correct?
Yes, we're going to try to avoid Chicago a little bit.
Why? Chicago's awesome.
but the northwestern suburbs and western suburbs of Chicagoland.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your guys don't wear Kevlar? I mean, come on.
Everybody's packing and wearing their Kevlar. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, they carry screw guns. That's it.
They carry, yeah, they carry
Or no, pipe wrenches. Pipe wrenches.
Pipe wrenches, that's right.
That's the old way people
right.
used to fight, right? They used to beat each other up, they just shoot each other.
Yeah.
Lazy bastards.
I
So
know.
they just
But they
squeeze
never
something.
banned the pipe wrench.
Yeah, they should,
I know.
right? I mean, think about how
It's
many
the
wives-
assault pipe wrench.
What's that?
It's the assault pipe wrench.
Yeah,
That's right. Right.
Yeah,
It holds
that's all
multiple
We don't-
tools.
We only banning the scary looking ones.
All right. So, Scott, you wanted to talk about boundaries.
I want to talk about anything, but
But
yeah, I was good with CBD, but we,
Yeah.
we can go back. Well,
You
I
brought that
did bring that up to you
Brought
the other
that
day.
up this week. Yeah.
I brought that up this week. Boundaries. Why have them? Why do we need them? Why are they important? Right? Because I mean, I've got my grandbabies.
Yeah.
Right. And my granddaughter is, what is she, 21 months, 22 months. I'm so bad with those dates.
Yeah. She's
Right,
no,
she's growing.
Just
She's-
around 2.
Right.
Just
She's
around
getting to the
2.
terrible twos, right? So I mean, boundaries are huge as
Yeah.
far as what you let them do, don't let them do.
Sure.
Right. I mean, we've all raised kids, so we know if you don't set those boundaries right away for your kids, it can wreak havoc on your life.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Well, and it's the same with adults. I mean, and for me, it's something we talk about stuff like all this time. I always say, I didn't realize that. It's like I was
Mhm.
born and raised in a closet, but just simple boundaries as far as what you're willing to do or let people do to you type of thing. And just, it's so amazing how much influence or issues it can cause if you don't have good, solid boundaries of who you are, what you allow people to do to you, say to you,
Mhm.
ask of you. And these are things I never thought of. I just every day, baby, did my thing, So, I mean, when you raised your kids, the boundaries, you can't do this, you can't do that,
Sure.
right? That's a simple something.
Well,
we
don't
don't
you
about.
think boundaries? I think boundaries work. Let's just be honest. Everybody's got a set of core values, right? So
Mhm.
you kind of work within your core values. So there's an a la carte system for boundaries, I think. Like for my boundaries with certain people might be different for other people, but your core values always hold true. Those are always going to be within those boundaries. Like someone can't do this to you because this is what you do. Your core values that you hold strong to are your stability, your basis.
Mm.
And I think that's where you can fine tune your boundary lines between who and who. If you see a pattern on one person and they're doing one thing all the time to somebody else, you know that that's going to be a boundary with you because you don't like it. So then right away you need to let them know, like, that's cool. You can do that with somebody else, but they'll never find you.
Right. This is
Right.
what
Right.
Well, right. This is what I kind of expect or I'm going to allow from you, right?
Correct.
Because some people will just kind of, let people step on them and not correct them because, hey, that's not for me, buddy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's just how, your morals and your values can dictate what's important to you and what you're going to allow and not allow
Agreed.
into your life, right? And it's
But-
different for everybody.
I'm
But
watching Kent over here.
yeah, he's
looking up
getting,
at the
he's getting ready
sky.
to go.
I see steam coming out of his ears.
That's why I gotta
The
turn the
mouse
list-
is
Let's
turning.
Let's read what Lisa says here. My view with my kids was don't accept any behavior you would accept as a teen. In other words, mouth hitting, tantrums, right?
Mm.
But little,
Not tantric. Tantrums.
yeah, but little they get the grace of understanding they are learning. All right.
Kent's turn now. So shh, look at me.
Silence on the floor.
Wise,
On the set,
the wise
so-
one speaks.
No,
Well, you got no hair either. As I say, the bald one's got to speak. The Almighty.
Did
we get him fluffy?
boundaries. The boundaries are they're imposed by other people.
Can be.
No, they are.
Well, that's true.
Explain.
They
That
are.
is true.
So, we really don't have the human body, the human brain doesn't. I mean, we only use 10% of the brain. We don't have boundaries, but we've had people say you can do this.
It's trained.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
It's learned.
And then all of a sudden, hey, you know what? I go to somebody like Lisa and say, hey, you know what? I'm not, I feel like this person's, well, yeah, you should set a boundary.
Right. What you're willing to
don't-
accept.
Don't let, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So
No, I don't. Can you explain it to me?
the idea of a boundary is they're not self-imposed. They're other people's boundaries that have told you shouldn't accept that.
Correct.
You should only do this, right? As you said it at the beginning, we teach our kids, hey, right? You push your boundaries all the time. Jumping out of airplanes, I don't do that. That's a boundary I'm not going to cross, right? Unless that thing's going down, there's no reason to jump out of a good
Even
airplane.
then,
There is. It's really fun.
See you later.
That's really fun.
Right? I mean,
But
you go rock climbing. You do. You love the. Some
Skiing.
people say adrenaline junkie, but you push your boundary all the time, right?
Am I pushing? Well, I guess I was thinking
but
limits.
because
see, those aren't boundaries,
right?
I was gonna say,
Correct.
those aren't
boundaries.
boundaries.
They aren't.
It's
right.
an awareness, right? Boundaries
Yeah.
are awareness that are learned and taught.
Well,
and
yeah.
and the world. So like mental health issues
Right.
can skew boundaries. That's why
Sure.
some kids, and I don't like saying this, but we have the shootings in the schools. We have these things where they don't know the boundaries because there's no boundaries in their head.
They're not taught of what they can and can't do.
Well, they could
properly.
be
Or
taught.
they're not using them.
But mental health dictates that they're not getting it.
Right. It's not.
So there's a lot of self-awareness. That's why I say with your core values, when you get old enough, you can build those set of core values for yourself.
Right.
That's where you're setting your own boundaries. The world is perfect the way it is because you get to experience everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. You're only visiting here, right? So when you can experience a little bit of everything and you pass on, you actually had to experience if it was horrible or wonderful. You create those boundaries within those limits. And so mankind is what created them rules and regulations, really.
Yeah.
So you're 100% right. I agree with that.
Yeah. Don says, we as humans create boundaries and accept boundaries. Sometimes not a great thing, but it is a good thing when done properly. A society without boundaries would be a little troubling. So what you're saying, Don, is our society has no boundaries.
Well, right
because
now,
if it's not a little troubling right now,
the boundary lines are skewed right now, right? I mean,
what do you mean?
I mean, the shit that people say to each other, the kind of way that people are treating each other these days,
which is different from what?
Well, it seems like it's more. These days. It seems like it's more pronounced, right? I mean, it seems to me.
Well, it's in your face because it's
from
the internet.
Right. It's much
Give
more.
me a time when it wasn't.
Well, when I was a kid, I can remember back when I was a kid, I didn't, right. And I appreciate that, but I can remember back when I was a kid, it didn't seem like things were challenged as much. And I could be looking at it differently because as a kid, you look at things differently, but I feel like things are being challenged a lot more these days by people, right? Because your boundaries aren't the right way, right? So why are you doing this? Back as a kid, I don't think people challenged us as much, at least from what I remember. Like I said, we were talking a little earlier too. I wasn't like the social butterfly or anything, when it came to school or hanging out with people. I mean, I had a very small set of friends. We had like 5 of us that were tight, thick as thieves, right? But so our boundaries, the only boundaries we pushed there were what our parents kind of instilled or what, the public, said you shouldn't do,
So to comment on that, it's always been there. The challenge has always been as big as you can ever see it. The thing is nowadays you have more with social media. It's all in your face. Right. So you're more aware. And listen, if you are going down the rabbit hole of toxicity on the internet, next thing you know, your boundaries start changing.
Right.
So, that's why I, unplug once in a while, figure out who you are.
Man camp.
Man
yeah,
camp,
baby.
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I love how Mike laughs. He definitely found his boundaries within the first half an hour last year.
Always. And what happens at man camp stays at man camp. Come on.
It's exactly. Hey, that's all we're saying.
That's
I didn't
right.
give specifics, but
it gets a little weird when all men are saying the same thing about man camp.
Right.
And what happens at man camp
You
stays
don't
at
know
man
what
camp.
happens.
just makes people jealous. Going, ooh, wait.
Don says we have a boundary in our society. Well, most people do for people wearing clothes. I'm thankful for that boundary.
I don't like that
relates
boundary.
to most people.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I mean,
you don't want
in the
hot
north,
springs in your eyes
yeah.
if I was running around naked for sure.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you could do something shady and 100% get away with it, what makes you decide?
Morals,
Integrity
values,
requires self-imposed boundaries. That's just how it works. And good morning,
Good
Shana.
morning, Shana. Right. She's
Good
always
morning,
got such
Shana.
great comments. We love
well,
you tuning in,
no,
Shana. Let Kent's thinking about it. He's steaming.
She says self-imposed boundaries. I don't think You're taught those. I don't think that.
But you're able to. So you are taught. We are said, don't do this. Don't do it.
Then. If you decide to accept that
Correct.
boundary, right?
He's right.
So it is right.
Yeah. So you have an a la carte system. You're looking at the menu of boundaries. Yeah, it's
Which
taught.
one are you gonna
it's
choose
taught,
to
but
do?
now which one do you want?
Right.
Here it's society gives you the options of what boundaries they think are your boundaries, and you can pick and choose through the boundaries.
The boundary of doing something illegal is pretty straightforward, right? It's illegal. It's not supposed to, but you're not going to get caught with it.
Give me an idea.
Well,
Give me an example
of what a boundary. I mean,
For
as
shady?
far as stealing or
Yeah.
shady. I mean, what do you mean?
Yeah. Give me an idea.
Well, I mean, what
I'm going
she's
to stay
saying.
out of this one.
Well, no, but I mean, like what Shayna's saying, right, is 100. If you're going to guarantee get away with it 100%, right?
Yeah.
Your boundary is what is right, what is best, or what you feel is best for you, right? You know you're going to get away with it, but you still know it's wrong.
Okay, so give me an example.
I'm
That's
trying
a-
to think. I'm
that's a
trying to think of
moral-
an
that's a
example.
moral
It's a
more than a
it is a moral.
boundary.
It is a moral discussion or a moral fight inside yourself, right? I can get away with it, but
Give me
it's
an
illegal.
example.
Why are you going to do it? Give me time here, bro. It's freaking
Guilt.
7:40 in the. Wait, it's oh my god, it's already 7:50. I love how this show goes so
You
fast.
set the boundaries based on the training that you have, based on the raising you've had, and a lot of it
There's a lot
sets
of
in
different
with
factors. There's a lot of
Guilt.
different factors.
Guilt is a huge one. You know,
That, yeah, especially if you're
guilt,
born and raised Catholic,
Oh,
right?
for
Religious.
sure.
You know that guilt of oh god.
There's, even in the smallest of things. That Kent and I went out to dinner with one of our partners that are supporting 21/6 the Net, and they took us out for an expensive dinner.
Yay.
And I looked at the menu and I was like, oh God, I can't. I'm the Catholic guilt.
I don't want to order any
My
of this.
mom taught me you find the cheapest
I'll
thing,
take the salad.
and we're right, which was
I'll
still,
take the salad,
which
no
was
dressing.
still like $50,
Yeah,
right?
Right.
I look at Kent, and he's like, take 2 of these. He
I'll
was
take
all
that
happy
filet.
camper.
I'll take that filet McNaught.
Yeah, that's right.
He says,
I did.
he
Yeah,
says,
that's good.
if anything, we ate good tonight.
Yeah.
That was, that was a pretty big company too, right? I mean, they're
Yeah.
taking you out, kind of whining and dining.
I
They-
didn't-
They know.
I
But
thought
still, and
I
that's
thought
like-
they were going to be embarrassed when I started rolling around on the plate.
He was licking it like a dog. Like, but it's the feeling inside that you get. And that's what dictates what that guilt is, what dictates the boundaries of what you think you should do.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, no, that was a good question.
Don says, Deke, society is continuing to break down as more people decide there are no boundaries. It has always been an issue. Now it's even more visible. Okay, let's stop there.
Right.
Let's unpack that for
Let's
a minute.
unpack that one. Yeah. So
That statement is, and we're rolling on society has continued to break down on what we deemed and are, let's just say, people who are not in their 20s, not in their 30s or necessarily 40s, but people who are of our age,
With the
little,
grit- the
little
nice
silver
little
stars.
silver
Maybe
hair.
we'll call them the silver
Oh,
stars.
you mean the cool generation? Got it.
Yeah, the Xers.
the cool
Right.
kids.
We have 2 genders.
But yeah, right.
We have 2 genders. That's it.
That's it.
Right.
Hot
But
or not.
you
Right.
know, people decide there are no boundaries. Actually, what society is saying is, I don't have to live by your boundaries. I can be an individual now.
Yeah, you don't have to live by my boundaries, right?
Right.
No.
and
But
so
you have to
I
respect my boundaries, right?
They
You
don't
should-
have
you should,
to.
Well, you should. So right, but
But there's
they
consequences
should, you
to
should,
those
right?
actions.
And I hate to use the word "should" because "should" is like kind of shitting on somebody and telling what you should do.
Yeah.
But the boundaries, it's hard to say without should, right? You should. I should respect your boundaries. If you don't want me, let's per se, to touch you, it's a weird
Sure.
boundary, right? But some people just like good old Uncle Pete. He hated people getting in his personal space.
Yeah.
That was his personal boundary,
Yeah.
right? So you didn't push on that because it made him uncomfortable, right? And so you respected that boundary. Today,
You respected that. boundary.
I respected,
Several
and that was my
people
choice,
did not.
right? Well, I did, but I didn't. If
Right.
you remember,
They'd come in for a hug,
It-
you'd give them a straight stiff arm.
right? But if you remember,
We're done.
but if you remember, Pete actually, dude, he hugged me a
Wow.
couple times, and he told me, he's like, I don't know why I did that. You know, Mary Catherine even said the same thing. Like, wow, like
I
there's
mean, it
something
was
special.
weird because he was kind of massaging your buttocks. at
Yeah,
the
well,
same
that's
time.
true too.
I
But
don't know.
I didn't
God
realize
rest
I
his
was
soul.
pushing
Rest
his
in
boundaries.
peace.
Yeah, I didn't realize I was pushing his
Too
boundaries,
soon?
and then he told me, no, I didn't
Watch
realize.
this shit start blinking now.
But he told me, and I said, oh, you know, hey, Pete, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was your boundary. It was up to me to respect that and not push it, right? I could continue to
So
push
this
it.
is
but-
exactly where I was going. What Don says. Unfortunately, one person's shady is another person's normal values. That's
Correct.
why I asked. Give me an example.
Correct.
because there's
Perception.
there's some people in South America who eat people.
Right.
That's acceptable.
Well,
Right.
some
Well, it is different. I mean,
we put Jeffrey Dahmer in prison for that.
Well, but for me, like with the boundaries, I'm talking, or what we're kind of trying to get at. Yeah, that's a personal boundary. I choose not to eat people, right? Because I know it's not right. That's the way I was taught, right? I choose not to kill people. One of my boundaries is not to kill people.
Barbecue sauce,
right? I don't.
matter.
My boundary is
white
not
meat.
to kill people, right? And I choose not to do that, not
That's a different
because
show.
not because somebody tells me not to do it, right? I know the boundary. I choose not to do it. That's a boundary that I
So-
don't feel like crossing.
So Scott, so what I've seen so far, and I definitely want Mike to chime in on this because I want him getting drowned out because he's not actually at the table.
Oh, he'll
But-
let us know.
but-
He's
I'll let you know.
We
Yeah,
have tagged
definitely.
in. We have tagged in so far with a whole different show. It's so many different categories. We're talking about respect, and respect is something that is if you're
earned.
it's earned, right?
Can you give me some of that?
And not everybody is going to have the same perception of what the definition of respect and of what boundaries are that you may have. So
Well, we
it's-
have to tell people what our boundaries are, and that's the thing. A lot
Well,
of
you
people
tell
don't
them
tell
that.
people.
now that goes to the respect, right?
Well, right, and
Which
if you
is
tell them, and they have to respect that you told them, and if they don't, then fuck them, right?
There's
Like
consequences.
right. There's
to the
consequences,
actions.
right?
Right.
And if your person and that's why people hang out with people and don't hang out with people, because you will give people your boundaries, maybe inadvertently in a lot
Sure.
of respects, right? You got just talk and get to know people.
It's
And
a
those
wall.
people that push those boundaries and continue to try to
Listen,
work past them.
Yeah.
listen.
hard.
If we're not getting to you, and we've got a lot of people commenting in time, and we keep rolling different places. But hey, join, put the URL and come in and be loud
Yeah.
and talk.
Yeah.
Jump in.
Shannon
please.
says, how do you explain the differences in character between siblings? Environment and culture, of course, play into it, but I think it's more nuanced.
Well, how do you explain the difference between siblings? I mean, they're different. They're going to
Yeah.
take things differently. You can teach. I mean, we all got kids here, so you can teach. You can raise the kids
Right.
the same, right? Trying to instill the same morals, values, and
So
explaining to them about boundaries. But what they're going to choose to do with them and what they're going to let people do to them is really up to them, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
So-
as a boundary, as a kid, allowing somebody to, disrespect them because they're afraid maybe to push back, right? So they let somebody push their boundary, and other kids, the people that don't let that happen, let's just say call you a name, people are gonna fight, and there's people are gonna be like, just walk away with it, suck it in, right? They're allowing that person to push past their boundary of being respectful.
what you consider
What I
their
can, right,
boundary.
Perception.
right, the
Right.
perception of what it is,
Perception.
and that's big because perception becomes reality in a lot of respects, right?
So that goes right into what Shana says. Individuals are insisting I live by theirs. You're setting boundaries on those people in that example you just
Right.
said because those are your
right, and
boundaries.
and it's up to me. It's up to me as a person. It's up to everybody as an individual to let people know what their boundaries are. So if they do push their
Why?
boundaries, because that's how you want to be treated. You want me to talk to you and call you.
Why do I give a shit about you? I should just walk away. Listen, I
Well,
don't.
that's your boundary. You don't care about me. You're going to walk.
That's
You're
not
done.
a boundary.
Well, but you don't want to deal with me. There's a reason you don't want to deal with me, right? So you're going to walk away. Then you've made your choice to walk away.
If I'm uncomfortable,
But if
I'll
you're going to
leave.
deal with you're going to talk to me, we're going to hang out. I love when he
Right.
does this shit to me. It gets
I'm
me
just,
rolling.
I'm just
No,
saying.
but right. So you're not going to let me treat you in a certain way. If there's something I do to you and you don't want me to treat you that way, the boundary that you have set for yourself, you need to explain to me, and I have that opportunity to either push that boundary or to walk away with it. And like you push my boundaries, or you push against me, and a lot of times in the show, and that's why the show is so good, right? Because we question each other's, decisions, morals, values, boundaries, and explain why we come to that. But if I don't tell you what I like and don't like, and you're going to continue to do it, that's my fault because I'm not telling you what my boundaries are, what my personal, preferences are, right?
Why do I give a shit what your boundaries are?
Because you like me as a friend. So if you're
But I
gonna
don't-
if you want to be my friend and you're gonna respect me, you have to respect my boundaries.
We're
And
in
if
our
not,
we're in our 50s. Outside
So
of this
what?
show, how many times have you sat down and, hey man, I think you're a nice guy, Drew. Could you tell me your boundaries so I can decide if I want to hang
you
out
learn
with
you learn the boundaries and hanging out with people.
No.
I learned the boundaries,
I don't think everybody's gonna have that same perception, Scott. I think that the boundary limits are based upon what happens in the moment. And if I'm constantly poking at Kent, if Finally, Kent's gonna be like, "Hey, listen, stop fucking touching me."
I
know now,
right? But he got to
That's
the
his
he got to,
boundary.
right. He got to the point that said, "Look, this is my boundary.
But he
Stop.
doesn't-
It's up to you to respect it or
but
keep poking it."
That's not my boundary,
I
though.
think the verbiage you're using is like, you have to tell me
Right.
No, you don't.
what your boundaries are, and he's like, I don't need to do shit.
Well, you don't have to. You don't have to say,
Right.
"Don't touch me," but you can understand. Like with Pete, you can see him
Eventually,
shy away. You
I
realize
think-
that was a
And
boundary for him.
You'll learn what the
Right.
the nuance.
Some boundaries are
right.
learned, and others
100%.
are told. Some of the boundaries that we teach our kid are learned.
I can
you
agree with
teach
that.
them.
What's Sally say?
I don't know. Hi, good morning, Sally. Who's Sally?
Unfortunately, we as a society have discarded the filter that has existed for decades between our thoughts and what we say.
Well, I don't know. That's
I don't know if-
also
I don't
a
know-
perception thing,
Right.
It's like, unfortunately, that's your perception of that. So I
Okay.
can't really say.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, you're
our
right.
boundaries are about they have
again,
changed.
So again, Don says Dahmer also killed them first. Well, thank God. I mean, we don't just go out and eat a chicken right off the fucking coop. We kill it.
Oh yeah, I
right?
know. Oh yeah.
Well, it depends on what
That's the best.
depends on what
When they're
country
fighting,
you're in.
When they're fighting,
Right, but hey, and that's what they do when you are a cannibal. It's like hunting deer or something like that. We just here in America have said,
Right.
"Hey, that's shady. Can't do that." Right?
Right.
We are quote unquote civilized. Right?
Are we?
Where we say that they're not.
Versus
Survival
some,
is an
perception.
instinct.
or something.
I start at respect. You decide where it goes from there.
Start at respect, and you just
Yeah, we're way behind because.
Well, let's let it roll.
because
I'll just,
because Kent talks to me too
Yeah,
much.
it would
and
save
we're way-
time if people let you know the first time you cross a boundary instead of resenting
Exactly.
people's
Thank you,
life.
Shayna. You just let them know right away because we're not mind readers. And hey, don't touch me, bro. That's my boundary. Right. So now you know. Now, if you decide to touch me next time, it's up to me to tell you to screw off or to let you.
What
to
do
let
I,
you pass
what do I
my
care if you go home and go?
You don't care because you're an uncaring son of a bitch, right? But a lot of people don't. And I like the fact that you're doing that because a lot of people are afraid to tell people that you're pushing my boundary. You make me uncomfortable. They just deal with it. And that makes their life uncomfortable.
But that goes back to the circle of influence there, Scott.
What's
That
that?
goes right back to the circle of influence. You don't have to say anything to that person that's poking at you. You don't really need to be involved with that. If they touch you, okay, that is your boundary. That you didn't like them to touch you, but your influence there, you don't have to accept that, and you can move on from that.
Yep.
Somebody could be yelling and screaming at you.
Listen,
Right, hold on. You don't have to accept that, but if you want to have a relationship, let's say with this person, you just need to let them know where you stand. And
Listen.
then it's up to them or you if you want to continue moving forward, right?
You've read too much stuff in your in your sex store. You're thinking of safety words.
No.
Pineapple,
Pineapple.
Banana.
Yeah.
black
I mean,
handle
hold on.
loofah.
You know what? Let's hit that.
That's a boundary.
Your
It's
comment is actually a very good one because
Whoa.
it is a boundary. It's what that person is willing to do or willing to
River.
accept, right?
Using the whole hand up. Yeah,
Right.
all right.
But it's different layers of boundaries
Right,
we're
but-
talking about different types of boundaries in that whole scenario. Because you
but
got your boundary, you
boundaries
got
that you have-
my
there are
boundary,
boundaries that you
we
have
got
to do.
society's boundary. We have multiple levels of boundaries we're talking about, and we're trying to group them all together, which they're
No.
individualized.
I'm the whole reasoning behind this topic today for me is, and I guess I should have prefaced it a little bit better, is personal boundaries, right? Allowing them to.
Did something
you know-
happen to where this became
yeah.
a theme?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
said banana
So
three
could-
times.
Yeah.
Pineapple. What can you? I mean, are you comfortable with talking about the story?
Well, no, well, like I said, my grandkids, right?
Yes,
Raising
yes.
them, setting up boundaries. And, we've got, like everybody else, we've got some things going on in our family behind the scenes, right? That,
Sure.
it happens,
We all
right?
do. Yeah.
Right, we
We
all
all
do.
got our
And-
own shit.
Right. We all got our own shit to sift through and help figure out. Well, so I've got some things going on in my life that, where boundaries are being pushed and not respected. And it really kind of made me think, why is this happening? Right. So was I not, and was the other person that I'm talking about not clear about what their boundaries are, or did I not try to protect my boundaries? That person not know what these boundaries are, or was I not what's the word I'm trying to think of? Was I not explicit enough? Not explicit. That's not the word. But did I not explain to them enough? This is my boundary. You cannot pass that. This is, this is thing. Or, my daughter.
Clear?
Was I not right? Like
were
my
you
daughter,
not
my daughter. Okay, this is myself, my daughter, and some other people, right? Were you not clear about that boundary? Or were you clear about that boundary and you let that person continually push that boundary and you just let it happen instead of pushing back, right? So when somebody pushes your boundaries and you don't push back, well, then it's your fault, right? Because you're not telling them, no, bro, that ain't right. I'm not going to accept that. And that's where a lot of people these days are afraid to push back for whatever reason. Some people don't want to do it because they don't want people to not like them, which if that's what you're worried about, that's a big problem in itself, right? Because if you're not going to push back that somebody's causing you problems with your boundaries, that you're going to sacrifice your own values, morals, and happiness, let's say, because you don't want to offend somebody, that's a boundary that needs to be enforced, right? And I don't want to really get specific.
No, and
you know what I mean? We all do that.
Let's just make sure everybody understands what Lisa is saying.
Yep. Where's Lisa? Oh,
I agree, Ken.
Oh, geez, that's it. She's got
That
a
doesn't
whole
matter.
paragraph after
That doesn't
but
matter, right?
but she
you
says,
be you,
yeah.
and either it fits or it doesn't. Everyone thinking the world has to bend to their personal wounds and feelings is part of the problem. You're right.
Oh, I love it.
So
I love it.
Right.
I nailed it on the head. You
right,
nailed it on the head.
Right. But here's the thing: is I'm not expecting somebody that doesn't want to be part of my life to bend to it. I'm telling people that I want in my life, right? Or people that are in my life. These are my boundaries. Please
Absolutely,
respect
Shayna.
them. If you don't respect them, we're done.
Absolutely,
Right?
Shayna. And it's a great image. It's never about the other person. People are like hummingbirds, sampling different energies and connections. Some are less appetizing. I love it. That's a great.
Exactly.
That's a great picture.
Exactly. But it reinforces what I feel. It's reinforcing what I'm saying. It's different for everybody, but there are basic boundaries that people need to set. Right? You guys keep making jokes about the banana or pineapple. That's a boundary that someone's not willing to let you go past. Right?
And that's trying to enter and exit, maybe.
Well,
You're
if
going
that's
the
your
wrong way.
boundary,
I like how he
right.
lightly says it.
You're trying to go the wrong way, right?
Yeah,
there.
but I mean, if you don't tell somebody what your boundary is and you don't protect that boundary, then it's your fault. It doesn't have anything to do with any other people. It's what you allow people to do to you.
Lisa says, what if my boundaries are not listening to bullshit about boundaries?
Then you can click off 216 to net and come back into the next show.
Hey, don't ever say that.
No, but you don't.
Who are you again?
But
Listen longer.
You don't, right? But you don't. So that's a good question, Lisa, because you don't have to listen. That's your choice, right? If you don't want to listen to it, you can move on. But if it's something that's near and dear to you, or a friend that's telling you that they want you to honor their boundaries, it's your choice to do it or not. And that's what life is. Life is about choices. I'm either going to choose to act properly, and that's a weird way to say it, but act properly around you, or interact with you in a manner in which you prefer. That's my choice. It's what you tell me you're willing to accept. If I'm willing to talk to you in that manner or accept your boundaries and still be my friend, that's great. That's what it's all about, because I have to respect you as a person, what you do, love, say, and
that's it. It has nothing to do with boundaries. Has nothing to do with boundaries. You're absolutely right.
Explain.
You just said I have to love you for what you like, do, and say. That's it. You don't have to know what my boundaries are.
It's unconditional.
Should not matter to you. Right?
Yeah.
I
think you backed yourself in a corner a little bit.
No, I'm good with that, because
Yes, he did.
so this is right, but this is a learning experience for all of us, right? Sure. And so that's why when I say these things, I get going, I get passionate about it, and then I get set back in my tracks going, okay,
so
wait a
if you're and I know you want to
so you guys are a lot smarter than me. You guys work every day.
That's not necessarily true. I just think that
I sit in a little.
We're all just talking about our perceptions of it, and so if in respect of, we're all friends because we see each other's scenarios or the way their life is.
216 net. Click off.
Click off.
I love it, actually.
Or we should just say,
I'm going to put that on my truck right now. Click off.
Scott's on mute.
I love y'all, but thank you for tuning in today. I'm leaving. My boundaries have been pushed too high.
I think transparency is key of who you are and what you want. Yeah. And if that's who you are and people don't get it, that's on them. So,
but it's also your choice. It's also your choice if they don't want to be inside your boundaries.
It is a choice,
right?
listen, and it was said on there once already about, hurting people's feelings or offending. Nobody's ever died from being offended,
Amen.
but you only learn from it. It's just another learning experience.
Nobody's ever physically died probably from being offended, but some people can take that offense and that disrespect, right?
Sure.
Especially you talked about mental illness, right? So if you're constantly disrespecting and pushing people, that can drive people into, a very dark place, right? Because if they're not standing up for their boundaries and they're allowing you to continue to pound on
there's a perception to that, because
there
today
is.
everybody's offended by everything.
Well, that's because everyone's pushing. That goes back to Kent's thing of the pussification of America.
That comment right there can push somebody into that dark corner that you're just talking about.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
And then you have to think about that.
How you are as a person has to just be accepted. And that person, the other person, will either accept you or they won't.
So
right, and they're accepting you as a whole. Boundaries
as a whole.
as a whole. Right.
Let me take a quick.
He's taking his glasses off.
Let me take a quick time out.
Do they change colors when he gets like different emotions?
Yeah.
Let me take a quick time out. First of all, there's a lot happening here at 216 The Net, and it's great stuff. So we've got new shows. If anybody caught the show yesterday, Roger That Chronicles. It's a show for veterans by veterans.
Awesome show.
Awesome.
Great show, actually.
Awesome show.
That's going to be on the first and third Thursdays of each month at 11 a.m. Good stuff. We've got Individually United is going to be coming on. They're going to be starting in March. Really cool show with Karen Abbott Trimmel and Jamie Maravich. Really good stuff. That's going to be on the first and third Tuesdays at noon.
Isn't it?
Yeah, the United Way. So
United
she's
Way.
the president
Okay.
of United
I
Way.
was going to say, I knew that name.
We've got Leveling Up, a DCCS production.
It's going to be one of the best shows.
It's going to be cool.
Make sure you tune into that one.
Yeah.
No, the grounds is the best. Don't ever push my boundary on that one, sir.
Scott's not invited.
The dream home.
You're acing me out on everything. I might as well just get a home studio.
The Dream Home experts.
I feel
The Dream Home experts are
I'm gonna
remodeling their
cry.
studio right now, and once that's done, what is it, Mike? Fourth season is coming up.
We're coming into the fifth season.
Fifth season.
Isn't that wait, Four Seasons? Isn't that the name of a heating and cooling company?
Yeah.
You
for
should
all
call
reasons.
yourself Fifth Seasons, man.
Yeah, so that's going to be cool. We've got just so many good things happening here that it is absolutely awesome at 216. You just gotta hang in with us. We're rebranding, going to 216 Creator Studios.
Yep.
There's gonna be new logos.
Creator or creative?
Creator Studios.
Creator
so you're a
Studio.
creator of content, right? Creator.
I create a lot of content.
So Drew and I had the opportunity to sit with a group of people who want to do a show, and as we're talking with them, the soon-to-be hosts were like, "Well, if we do that, we might upset people in the Bible Belt, right?"
Yep.
That's good. You'll get a lot of listenership then.
Well, if we do it, so we had to just kind of tell them, go, you can't worry about that.
Don't have boundaries.
You have great
All PR is good PR.
You have
Right.
great content.
Right.
You're not everybody's going to connect, but you know what? You might irritate some people in the Bible Belt, but Germany will love you,
That's right.
right?
Yep.
It's a give and take.
or the Netherlands, or
That's
Ghana, or whatever, right? So it's so interesting when creative people take a look at the music that's out there.
Yep.
If Elvis worried that he was going to upset somebody, he wouldn't have been the king, right?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Right. So
You
the issue
You got
is
a peanut butter banana sandwich for me?
the issue is that
Uh-huh.
is that I see you struggling with is you give a shit about what everybody else thinks,
Right.
and you're allowing that to direct your life. Sometimes you just gotta say, throw it up to the wind and be like, I know I'm going to irritate. Listen, you of all people drive around with shit on your truck. Go, I want people to think, well, how many people did you piss off and create a heart attack?
A lot.
You understand what I'm saying?
And-
And
but
you didn't
I-
give a shit about that.
I do give a shit, but I right. So it's a catch-22. I do give a shit because I don't really want to hurt people, right? But I also want to make people think, just like you guys do to me and all of our lovely listeners.
Yeah,
right?
thank you,
You make-
Shane. It was cool.
Yeah, you make me think, right?
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. And that's all I want, really. And that's my main goal with even raising my kids.
I'm
or my
afraid to
friends and
find out
family.
what's on your truck.
Yeah.
Is it like
No,
I don't
hey,
down
no,
on
there's
one?
nothing on it right now.
Just because you are offended doesn't mean you're right. That's absolutely
Oh,
correct.
absolutely. No, it's
Listen.
and that's
we
what
went-
you
we
what
went from
offends
a-
me is different than what offends you.
We went from a world here in America.
Right.
I got to say, here in America, we went from a world of understanding fact to worrying about opinion.
Oh my God, right. I love that. I love that
Right?
statement, right?
And
yeah.
and now you're leaving. Well, it's the boundaries. The boundary.
Don't you
you know
love how
what?
he always just picks on me? He's
No,
supposed to be my
I'm just
buddy.
saying.
I
I'm
know.
gonna cry.
I'm just saying there's something, because you in your entire life have never, and maybe that's why that's that inner struggle, right? With
Right.
the dark side is your entire life you've been, I'm getting mine, fuck it.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm running this motorcycle off the cliff just to see if I can do it. Right. Hey, I made it.
Right.
I mean, think of your scars. Think of the times, you tell me about the time when you were a kid and I had to walk home. I had stitches. My face was falling off. I mean,
Right.
there's crazy shit that has happened.
Yeah.
in your life,
I'm lucky to be alive.
right? And
Oh, Mike left.
Yep. Hey,
Who
Mike.
else might go?
All right. And so the idea of now at some point, and it could be because you're grandpa, I'm not. Right. Now all of a sudden it could be a whole different thing where now you're looking bigger and longer than I am because I don't have grandkids.
Right.
And it may be different, right? But what I'm trying to say is it seems that a lot of times what we get caught up on as people is I'm concerned about your give a fuck. And Pete always said my fuck
I got
bucket
no more
is empty.
fucks. Well, I got no more fucks to give.
Yeah, I got
That
no
was
more
his-
fucks to give.
Right.
But now I'm rolling around. I said that at a referral group is small business owners are proud. They're like, yeah, hey, I own my own business,
Right.
and they give a shit about how the community sees them as a
Image.
business owner rather than going out and making money.
Image. 100%.
And I told people, I go, listen,
that's important. I
I-
mean, 216 Creator
I-
Studios
I-
has got an image.
I go like this.
You don't want to false. You
I
don't
said,
want to
listen,
mess up that
I
image.
don't mean to be a dick, but this year I want to make a bunch of fucking money with people who want to make a bunch of fucking money.
Right.
Period. I don't give a shit what people think about me.
Right.
Let's go make money.
Right. And that's great, right? Because
Right.
it's right, but it's
And we're doing it, baby.
Right.
bring me along, would you?
Right.
But there's nothing wrong. There's
I didn't
nothing
see
wrong.
the sample bag of
Yeah.
CBD, so shut up.
So Lisa,
Wow, so I got to
Lisa,
give you guys something to get something, huh? I see
Lisa
that.
says, I have people I love very much. Sometimes they piss me off. Sometimes
course.
they
That's
are
part of
annoying.
life.
Sometimes they take advantage. I'm sure we can flip flop that. Life is life. Either someone matters enough to accept them. When they start to make that situation not seem in balance, or you are not seeing the value anymore, or change that are not good. Say so, but no one is going to walk around with a notepad asking everyone
Yep.
who they need to
Correct.
be so that that person is comfortable.
Well, of course not. But if
Correct.
it's somebody that means something in your life, you're gonna pay attention to what
Scott
is
is
acceptable
walking
now.
around with a notepad.
Yeah.
That's right.
Fuck
He's
you.
got
a
it.
friend. A friend.
Think
to,
about it.
A friend to all is a friend to no one.
Well,
Or
no, you
none,
can't be a
right?
friend to all. But if you're my friend, I need to know. I want to know your boundaries so I don't offend you. Right?
Shayna says, "Hey, I missed the intro. Is hot guy cappuccino?"
Yeah. Shayna
guy.
likes the bald
Oh,
guy with the
heck
beard.
I'll take hot guy any
Hey,
day.
Hot guy. Hey,
hot
he's
guy is
married,
Cappuccino.
But cappuccino,
Drew-
yes,
Drew
that is Drew
Cappuccino.
Casaccio.
Well, yeah,
He is
Nice to meet you.
He is one of the newest members
well,
to
so,
216
yeah, so
family.
yeah. Well, there goes the witness protection. Nice job. Thanks.
Right. Yeah, it's just
Right.
because he's got
Yeah,
an
here's
Italian
his phone
name.
number and his address.
Right.
It's because he's got the. Well, hey, I'm
Yeah,
Scott
yeah,
Giles,
yeah.
Kent Jones.
Boundaries.
Oh, is that your boundary? I can't tell him you're Italian.
Yeah,
He's
hey.
Polish. He's Polish. Look at him.
There you go.
You know, he likes.
Dobshe.
Don't
Yeah.
Yeah.
he likes the what the hell is the
Yeah. So there.
Kalachkis?
Back to God, right? Will not ask me what others thought of who I was. I'll be asked reflect about my choices, actions, and responses to others. There.
What does God have
Yeah.
to do with boundaries?
No, what she's saying is, on Judgment Day, he's gonna be like, "Hey, you know what, Scott? You were a piece of shit, but everybody thought pretty highly of
Yeah.
you. Yeah, come on in, right? He's gonna be like, "Hey, Scott, you were a good guy. and nobody liked you.
I just
Come on
think
in.
I think it's
Right.
I just don't get I don't think it matters, as far as how I understand the whole thing of God letting you in, right? Is if everyone makes sins, everyone bad, got bad tendencies to
That's a
them,
good
right?
Catholic.
As long what, dude, the Catholics are some of the worst. Why do you think they have confession every week?
That's right.
And they
Yeah.
feel if they go to confession and go to church once a week, all their sins are resolved, and they can go back next week and make some of the worst freaking mistakes ever. I mean, that's part of the reason I kind of walk from the
Clears the
Catholic Church,
minds
right?
of most mobsters.
Right. Well, I mean, so church. So yeah, I mean, you jumped in on that one. Church is a place you're in where they have set their boundaries as to what they accept and don't accept, right? And it's up to you if you want to be part of that group, right? If you want to live by what they say and to acknowledge their boundaries,
True.
right? And if you don't want to, you don't. But they're very specific. A lot of places are very specific on what is acceptable. Just like schools have boundaries. What they're they've been pushed a lot. I mean, because they got kids walking around with tails and shit. But they usually have a boundary that you have to abide by, and you either choose to use that boundary or not. You what?
I don't know. I was reading.
Oh, yeah, you went from the God boundary.
Yeah. So Don says boundaries in our society are uneven. Jane Fonda says COVID was a gift from God. To the left in a movie that's out today, J.K. Rowling says men cannot be women, and people want to cancel her. Being offended
Because that's a
works
boundary
for some folks. Don't make me type in caps hat. Sorry about that, Shayna. I was looking through the wrong.
It's okay, Shane.
I was looking through the wrong lines in my glasses.
I was like, ooh, when he
Yeah.
read it. So it's all good.
Right. Why? Because I say God. So
Why?
you
Because I
assume
say God.
I follow church rules.
I'm not assuming you to
LOL.
follow church
That's
rules.
Right where you went. Yeah. Yeah. Was Scott talking?
Wow. Well, so just so you guys know, 216 Net is canceling the grounds.
Yeah.
They're going to get a new host in here because his
No,
boundaries have been pushed.
But
Or wait, my butt.
that's
Cappuccino Live. That's
But
what it's
that's-
going to be.
Live.
that's your brain. Your brain. When you your brain is designed to make you survive.
Right, I was gonna say our brain is only
Right.
our brain
That's
is
it.
our brain. That's all our brain wants to do is help us survive.
And we
That's
only
why it's so
use
hard
about-
to get past
And
it.
we only use about 10% of our brain. So once we think we've got to our boundaries, we still got 90% to go.
Oh yeah, well
Right?
our brain is out to protect us and pushing those boundaries in your brain.
So
You know?
what happens is
I'm a 3%er.
and this is and this is
I'm 2.5.
this is the God's honest truth.
why is God honest and truthful
Because I don't care about your boundaries.
there's the problem. He does not care.
I don't.
The world doesn't care.
Because here's what happens. You die.
Right, but
And I tiptoed around your boundaries for how many years, and I'm still here.
well, but you
and
don't
now
have
what?
To, yeah, but you don't have to tiptoe around my boundaries. Just if you want to be
No,
part
I
of my
had to, so-
but if
so
you want to be
feel
part of my
good.
life, you should want to respect my boundaries, right?
No, I don't care about your boundaries.
Why? Then why do you want to be friends with me?
Some people will. Some
Right, no,
people
but I'm
will,
saying,
right?
right, but so
he
I know,
might not.
I know you have boundaries of what you want to talk about, do, say, type of things, right? So I honor them, right? Because you're my buddy. I don't want to offend you. It's not, and it's up to me to decide if I want to do that or not, right? To honor your boundaries, right? Because I that's a respect thing for me. That's a moral thing for me because I don't want to offend you. And if that makes it harder on my life because I'm deciding to play your boundaries, that's my choice, right? It's my everything in life is about choices, right? And you have choices. We make choices every day, right? And some of them are good, some of them are bad. I mean, let's just say 10 choices a day, probably 9 of mine are bad. One is good.
You can't expect everybody to have the same
Well, you can't have
belief in this as you do.
Well, you have to be careful with expectations.
You know
right?
what I mean?
Any expectation really
So,
is,
like,
but can make you,
you like Kent no matter what for who he is as a person,
No.
good and bad.
no. I do.
Right.
I accept
Live with Cappuccino.
right.
Next week, Friday.
But I do accept Kent, and I know, I know his boundaries, and I
All right,
choose
stop,
to live
stop,
with
that's
stop,
your
stop right
choice.
there.
Okay.
Stop right there.
Right.
You use the word accept. I'm not looking to be accepted. You
Right.
understand? So words have meanings, right?
Yeah, but exception is for him, not
Right.
you.
I'm accepting, not for you. I'm accepting that those are your
He
boundaries.
doesn't
and
give a
I'm gonna-
shit if you accept it or not.
Right.
He's
I'm the
accepting.
one that's accepting that, you know what, I'm going to play by your rules.
Right.
Right.
You
Because
don't
I
know
want you in my life.
rules.
But I do. Those I know. All right. I don't know all of them, but I know a decent amount of your boundaries of ones to push and not to push. And if I choose to push them farther, that's my choice. Right. And I have to understand that realistically, if I'm pushing your
So-
boundaries
so
too hard,
Stop again. We're going to go back to what we said 20 minutes ago. The boundaries that you're self-imposing on me are your boundaries for me. They're not my boundaries.
no, the boundaries like with Pete, don't touch me, right? I chose to respect his boundary after he told me that, right? Because he let me know what his boundary was. It was up to me. Well, it's up to him to enforce his boundary, just like your boundary line on your house, right? Don't come in my yard, all right? Don't come past this line. This is my boundary. Do not come past it, right? You're telling them not to do it. If they come past it, that is a choice they made. You let them know what your boundaries are. That person hopefully is going, if they like you and want to, be part of your life, they're going to respect that boundary for whatever reason it is, whether it's something they think is ridiculous boundary, right? But it's a boundary that I have set in my life. And if you're not respecting it, I'm getting disrespected. I want to choose, then I have that choice to not have you in my life, potentially, right? It's my choice. It's my choice to respect your boundaries that I know. And that if you have told me, because some people don't explain to people what their boundaries are.
What boundaries have I don't think I've said this is my business as far as I go, Scott.
But no, just listen, but just talking to you and being friends with you, I understand certain things that you do and don't want to talk about or how you view certain things. You haven't told me, hey, don't talk about this, don't do that. But these are things that I pick up from talking to you over time, right? That I respect, like certain, I don't have anything really specific right now that I would really want to talk about.
But
online,
what you respect doesn't necessarily mean it's a boundary that he's imposing on you. You just respect it, and so you adjust your personality according to him.
Right. Well, right. But so let's just say Kent sitting here doesn't like to be touched, right? I'm going to respect that boundary or I'm not. So when I come in the morning, we always, hey, what's up? We hug, we talk. You know what I mean? If that was his boundary, I'm going to respect not doing that, even though.
Let me clarify, and I know we got some more to read up there, but let me.
We got a lot to read.
Let me help you clarify.
Thank you guys.
Let me help you clarify a problem. If the situation between you, your daughter, and whoever else it was, and you make it severely clear, sometimes those consequences suck, right?
Yeah,
if you feel that disrespected, it's going to be your choice to make the next move. And when you make that move, if they don't get it by then, they'll probably stop coming around.
And that's their choice.
Because
I inform them of what is acceptable and what's not acceptable.
Right. So that just resolves that issue.
Right. Right.
So, I see why you came up with the boundaries thing today, because was this stirring the pot for you? Are you
this
stewing on something or
no? Well, I mean, we're always stewing, but no, like I said, this is
but
something
specifically on this situation.
Well, this situation, I mean, it's been going for a while. It's just something when I was literally sitting down the other day with my grandkids, right? And telling them what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, right? Type of things. It's like, wow, we're teaching them these things as kids, right? And it's up to them as their kids, they pretty much have to accept it or at least live by it, accept the consequences. As they get older, it's up to them I guess as kids, it's up to them too, if they're going to follow it or not. But as we get older, we start to be able to perceive that, right? And understand that from other people. And it's our choice, if we're going to live by your boundaries, my boundaries, right? To get along, because a lot in this world, I feel like a lot of boundaries are being pushed nonstop and not being respected. The cancel culture that's happened big time. They're not respecting people's opinions, thoughts, ideas, boundaries, right? It is what it is. And
the people that they're trying to cancel aren't doing it to them.
Not necessarily, but the boundaries.
No, absolutely necessarily. That's why they want them canceled. You're going against my boundaries, and I'm not going to have it.
If they didn't, right? But if they didn't know it, so the thing is so with the boundaries, if somebody knows about it, right, and you tell them, and then they want to push past that or continue to push your boundary, it's up to you to walk away from it, right? And that's important, because if you're not standing up for what you believe and who you are, it's your fault. And so people, and I guess that's what it comes down to. People aren't defending. I feel, this is me, that people aren't defending their boundaries or giving enough information of their boundaries.
Everybody's defending their boundaries. That's why everybody's up in arms all the time. That's why.
But there's not clear.
That's why we have the cancel culture.
We do, but like if you don't have a clear,
I'm defending my boundary as a gay man.
But if you don't have
and I never could before.
Right. But if you don't have a clear set of boundaries defined to people, how are they supposed to respect those? That's kind of what I'm getting at. Is let everyone know what
you can't tell me what my boundaries are to respect.
No, but you tell me in our interactions,
It
and
doesn't matter. I don't have to respect that. Just because you say that you're a wall doesn't mean that I'm going to treat you like a wall.
You're going to treat me the way you want to treat me, and it's up to me to accept.
And now you're saying I'm
Accept it or
pushing
not.
against your boundaries because I won't call you wall. You don't respect me enough to call me wall.
No.
Yes, that's what's happening in
He'll
the world.
see you at the flagpole after school.
Yeah, I get stick my tongue on it.
Listen,
Right.
right?
got-
so
Right,
That
but
just
you
got
get,
weird.
But you get
The
what I'm
hard
saying,
part-
right? But you
hard
understand the
part-
premise of what I'm getting at, the semantics of changing it around, right? But the boundaries, as far as setting what your life is and what you want in your life, what's acceptable,
The
not
hard
acceptable.
part is you spend a lot of your energy. I'm very much the same way, but you spend a lot of your energy
Thank you for
wanting to
saying
make
that.
sure that everybody's happy.
Yeah.
My family, for sure.
Everybody.
Right. Well,
That's
no, but
who
I
you
mean,
are.
right.
Right.
And-
I'm very much the
and
same way.
when
right?
the world
I don't
would be a
necessarily
much better,
play it on this show,
right? No,
right?
Yeah.
Right,
But
and
I'm
that's-
very much the same way.
right. And I appreciate that.
And so when you look at boundaries, you're saying it because I really want. Listen, I want to just exchange good energy with you. So I want to listen. When I leave, no matter what you are, whether it's the bag girl at Walmart or wherever, Jewel Osco, whatever, the person at the trio when you run in to get your cigars, you want to exchange good energy, and that's who we are.
That's the hope, right?
That's
That's
who
the hope.
That's who we are.
Right.
So because of a people pleasing type thing, I really want to. Listen, Drew just went through some awful shit. Still
Right.
going through it.
Right.
And you know what I told him? I can't give you any advice. I've never
Well,
been there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't
You don't
fucking
know.
know.
And that's why, our comments
if you
usually is that
need-
sucks instead of sorry
If-
for your loss.
If you need,
right?
if you need me to be here to listen to you, have a drink, whatever, cool, I'm down. But listen, if you're looking for advice, can't give it. Never been in that position.
Right.
Right.
Unless so for me, and I get that, but I mean somebody who's asking, if they're asking for if they're asking for advice, they're wanting you because of your knowledge, right?
But-
Because we do hit
But
on the
he
same
didn't, right? And,
Right,
and
no, he didn't.
People don't, but everybody's like, hey,
right.
sorry.
So and that's Bart
Praying
and
for the
that's-
loss.
well, that's-
for you.
right, and
Yeah.
that's actually that's pushing a boundary. He's not asking for me to solve something for him. He's telling me he had a bad prop, right? He's had a bad situation happen. Bro, that sucks.
Yeah.
I'm here for
Period.
you if you need me. Bam, that's it.
Right. But so
Right.
But
So I know that boundary.
But because your intent and the energy that you have right now as a human being is, I just want to share good energy with people. I want you to be happy, right?
I want
to please you.
I wanna
want
be-
you to feel good when I
right.
leave.
I want to be the change that I see in the world, right?
right. Thank you, Don.
Dude, you make me. You should move
We
back
need
to
a close up
Middle
on
Illinois.
Hat
We
Guy.
need a
Don.
close up on the hot guy.
Well, listen, we don't want to break cameras around here.
Well, so now we know Shayna's tape.
Yeah.
But awesome.
All right, listen, we're over. We got to get
That's
rock.
okay.
We got to get rocking. and
We're
rolling.
always over.
Just another bald guy.
We
That's
went
it.
past our
Shayna.
time. Hey, we went past our time boundary.
No, well then we're gonna keep going because I own this damn place.
There you go. See,
Speak till
he
noon.
imposed a boundary. Now he's going to go past it
Right.
because he made that
All
choice.
right. Yep. Whew. Yeah. Listen, we love
What a
everybody
great
for
show
Crazy
today.
show today, huh?
I love it.
Appreciate Mike Krejci for spending a little time this morning.
Yes,
with us.
yes.
Busy
But we
time with
appreciate
us.
everybody.
But you don't have a knowledge. Yep, that's all I can read right now. So,
Who
all
says
right.
that?
Have a
Listen,
fun week too.
Listen, we've got Bridging Civil Tension Fridays at 9. Next show is going to have Karen Abbott Trimmel. She is a playwright, author. She is an incredible success and a lady who's making a difference and future host of the Individually United that we've got coming up. We've got Innovative Strategies with Bill Hasse at 10:30. We've got
Great shows. Great shows.
yeah, great shows, and he's going to have a great guest.
Totally,
right here
totally
in
different,
studio
but
with us.
great things.
We've got the Neighborhood Pulse.
Kevin
coming
Callback.
in at 1:00. We've got In the Know with Steph and Joe. Just a bunch of great stuff happening.
Great lineup.
Check us out. We and yes, we apologize. We know that the website is a little outdated, but we're having it worked on right now as we're rebranding and doing things. So stay with us. But check us out on Twitter, on Apple Music, 216 The Net. Listen to us all day. The more likes, shares, and minutes that you listen to, the more we can do. So
The more we can help people out, because that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah,
It's a daily
Absolutely.
daily dose of encouragement, guys. Because you know what? We know the world's crazy, and we know that it can get you down. It can cause you to question yourself. That's what we're here for. We're here to talk, right? I mean, send us emails. Let us know if you guys have certain comments or topics you want to talk about.
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about. The Grounds is all about,
Send
just a
topics.
bunch of guys. Yeah, just a bunch of guys hanging out, talking about what's really going on in life. We don't candy coat it, as you can tell, either here, folks. Right. So we appreciate you tuning in. Go out, have a wonderful weekend. Love everybody. And just like I said, how about we just start being the change that we want to see in the world, right?
Absolutely.
Treat people the way you want to be treated.
I love that.
Do the things you want to do, because we only get one shot at this, folks.
And
life is too damn short.
And what I would say with that change,
and so is
make
Drew.
sure it's your underwear every day.
And so is Drew, the hot guy.
The hot guy.